Welcome back. We are going to start with non-chordator 2, where we will be looking into Annelida, Onychophora, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and few of the non-chordate coelomate minor phyla. Okay. So at the onset, we will be looking into the phylum Annelida, where uh, we will be looking into the salient features of phylum Annelida, classification of the phylum, salient features of the classes and subclasses. Then, under the classes, we'll be learning more in detail on class Polychaeta with example Arnicola and class Clitellata with subclass Oligochaeta and Hirudinea. Um, Under Oligochaeta, we'll be learning about Megascolics, and Hirudinea, we'll be learning about Hirudinaria and Hemadipsa. As a type species, we will be learning in detail on various systems of Nereis and also the reproductive developmental stages. Okay, so what are the general characteristic features of phylum Annelida? Basically, annelids are triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical, metamerically segmented, coelomate worms with a thin, flexible cuticle around their body. So when we speak about the features in detail, basically annelids are aquatic in nature. They could be marine or freshwater. Some terrestrial forms also exist. Annelids could be burrowing or tuberculous. Tuberculous in the sense when they live inside tubes. Okay, so it could be burrowing or it could be tuberculous. We can also find free living as or sedentary forms. Some are commensal, some are parasitic. Okay, so very different kinds of or diverse kinds of habitats and habits are exhibited in annelids. Then annelids, as already mentioned, they are metamerically segmented, right? So as we have already seen, the body is elongated, worm-like, isn't it? Bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, schizocelic type of coelom, and metamerically segmented. So body is metamerically segmented. That is, they are like internally as well as external segmentation can be found in annelids. Externally, the body is segmented by way of transverse grooves which are visible out from outside, while internally the body is segmented into number of divisions by way of septa. Okay, the septa is septum, it demarcates the segmentations inside, and each division is known as a somite or metamer. Right, so those smaller divisions which are produced by way of segmentation by septum, they are known as segment, metamer, or somite. Okay, now the body, it is provided with a the body wall, it is provided with an outer covering, and that is known as a cuticle, and this cuticle, it is secreted by the underlying epidermis. Body wall is contractile, as we have already mentioned. It consists of an outer epidermis, and just beneath that, the circular and longitudinal muscles inside. Okay. Appendages, when present, are unjointed, but the major locomotory organs, they are segmentally arranged, paired setae, or it is otherwise known as chetae. Okay, so these are chitinous in nature. So chitinous setae are the major what you call locomotory structures. They help in locomotion. These setae may or may not be present on parapodia. That is, you can see here, locomotory organs, they are segmentally arranged or segmentally repeated bristles or setae. They may be embedded in the skin or they may be borne on the parapodia. Okay. Um, Alimentary canal, as you can see, they are straight. It is straight and complete, and it extends from mouth to anus. It is tube-like. Okay. Respiration, it is brought about through general body surface, or in very few cases, even through gills. Respiration, it may be by moist skin, or it may be by gills present on the head and parapodia. Okay. Um, the blood vascular system, it is of closed type, and blood is red due to the presence of hemoglobin or erythropoietin. Excretion, it is made possible with the help of nephridia, which are metamerically arranged, that is, in each segment, or it can be said segmentally arranged nephridia. And usually monoecious, that is hermaphrodites, are found. Dioecious forms are also present. Development is usually direct in the case of monoecious forms, while indirect with a larval stage in dioecious forms. When there is a larval stage, usually it is a trochophore larva. Okay, it is a trochophore larval stage, which is characteristic in case of indirect development, as already mentioned. And we can see regeneration is also a common method of it can not say it is a reproduction, but regeneration is also exhibited by many of the annelida. Okay, now regarding the classification. Traditionally, the phylum Annelida, it consisted of three classes: Polychaeta. Here, chaeta refers to setae. Okay, poly, many. Okay, so many setae. That is what the name like means. Then, so Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, and Hirudinea, right? But later, Hirudinea were shown to be derived from one of the oligochaete groups, and hence the Oligochaeta and Hirudinea has been placed under the same class, and these two have been given the taxon subclass. Okay, so now phylum Annelida, it is being divided into two classes: class Polychaeta, which includes marine worms, then class Clitellata, which can be divided into two subclasses: subclass Oligochaeta and subclass Hirudinea. Subclass Oligochaeta includes earthworms, and subclass Hirudinea, it is NEA, includes leeches. Okay, so these are the few. This is a classification, right? So you can see here Polychaeta. Polychaeta, the members of the Polychaeta contains many setae. Okay, they are, as already mentioned, they are all marine and carnivorous, and they bear plenty of setae on their body. Okay, setae are numerous. While on these two, Oligochaeta and Hirudinea, comes under Clitellata. The name has come because of the presence of a structure which is known as clitellum. Okay, we'll be looking in detail in the coming videos. Oligochaeta, it is, the name says, like oligo means few and chaeta means setae. So few setae. So as compared with Polychaeta, this may be containing few setae, and usually these setae are found in the range segmentally. Okay, and this structure is what is referred as a clitellum. Going into Hirudinea, the name has come from hirudo, which means leeches, and this includes leeches. And in all these groups, you can see the body is segmented. Externally visible segmentation can be found here everywhere, isn't it? So that is the very peculiar nature of phylum Annelida. The term Annelida, it comes from annulus, which means rings, and here actually it means segmentation, okay, or segments. Fine. So this is about a general features of phylum Annelida and how it is being classified. Okay. And in the coming videos, we'll be looking into each of the class in detail, the subclass and examples. Fine. Thank you.